Hi
Uh,
guys.
What's up? Are
so
y'all
let-
qualified? Are y'all even qualified?
What do you mean?
You're not qualified.
you're not qualified.
You're not qualified in a real way.
Oh, I don't even
Shout,
know.
shout out to Aaron the plumber, man, for coming through with these
Oh,
catchphrases, man,
oh Lord.
and he is the new viral sensation, man. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and I don't know how long it's gonna last, but he milking it. He milking it, and he
In
making that bread off of it for real, in a real way.
a real way.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to
Nothing
another
much.
episode, episode 190, in a real way. Y'all see what we got here. We ain't got Stephen A. We ain't got LeBron. We gonna talk about Marvin Sapp. And we're gonna talk about this AI. But I had to put Stephen A. and LeBron on there because guess what? The saga still continues, right? It's not going away. As soon as we think it's done, something else happens.
Yeah, no, that's insane that it's still going. And it's like they're milking each moment. Like he's capitalizing. What did he say? He's on a tour right now. The what did he say? Taylor Swift, the Eras
but,
tour.
but you know what? I can't blame him. Like at the end of the day, it's LeBron's fault that this even occurred the way it did, right? Because LeBron confronted him in front of the world. Regardless to the reasoning why he confronted him, he still confronted him. And that moment turned into the viral moment that we all were witness to. So, no pun intended. So, so because we were witness to that now, we're all part of it, right? So we're invested. Like we want to see and hear what the heck is going on. So I mean, I didn't want to talk a lot about it, but it's what, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna let y'all have y'all turn it. When it comes to things like this, and again, I say this countless times on social media and countless times on this show, when it comes to LeBron James, I'm a LeBron James fan. I'm not a Bron sexual. There's a difference.
Yeah,
I'm a
fact.
LeBron James fan, and I think he is one of the greatest players to ever play the game. So because I don't think he is the greatest in my opinion, people call me a hater, which I don't understand that logic because if I'm telling you he's one of my favorite players, how can I be a hater? Like it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So when we start talking about LeBron, we start talking about Bronny, people don't understand the hypocrisy that goes on with them because people move the goal line constantly, right? When you are judging other people, it's a set standard. But when you
Mhm.
talk about LeBron and Bronny, oh, you can't do that because they are special. No,
Right.
they're just like anybody else that is a celebrity, that is an athlete. They're gonna be critiqued. People complain about, okay, well, Bronny's a 55th, draft pick, second round. Nobody ever talks about 55th draft pick. Well, no other 55th draft pick has a full guaranteed contract either.
That is a fact.
Now that
so
now that's a fact.
so you
Like
can't
it's
treat
the target is on your back.
yeah, so
Like
he is not the regular 55th draft pick, so you can't
absolutely
treat
not.
him like one. The other
They
55th,
do it when it's convenient.
the other 55th draft picks and 50th draft picks are in the G League and fighting their way onto a roster where
Mhm.
he's coming into games in the first quarter playing meaningful minutes in games that he really didn't contribute to.
At all.
So that's what I'm saying. So you can't apply the traditional logic to this situation because it's not a traditional situation by any stretch of the imagination. So people have to stop trying to move the goal line every time it comes to your favorite athlete, your favorite personality, your favorite person. They all get critiqued. They all, are not perfect. Things happen. Whether you like what LeBron did, whether you like what Stephen A did, at the end of the day, it really don't matter anymore, right? It's done. But you can't get mad at one or the other for capitalizing on their situation.
I mean, it's big media coverage. You knew it was gonna happen. Stephen A. Braun. And what's funny is Braun usually go into hiatus on social media. He usually go dark when it gets close to the playoff time. So that was a little weird. But nevertheless, I mean, we know that they're big in the media world. So you got to do something, because basketball was kind of at a dark ratings point before all this, the Luka trade and all that happened. The views wasn't as hot as they, what I'm saying, was supposed to be. So, what I'm saying, you got to do something. And that's the part I can respect, because although, it done kind of ran itself into the ground now. The part I can respect is that now the views are crazy wild. And
not for the right reasons. Those are organic. They're not going to stay. I mean, they're just there for the moment. As it fades out, the views fade out.
Right. But, playoff time is coming, so people watch a little bit more basketball, playoff time. So it's kind of, like that little space, the playoffs will carry itself on its own. But until we get to that point, we got what? We had a month and a half, 2 months, where them ratings was like, yeah, we got to do something. And that's the beauty I can respect about Bron, is he can get the media and the whole everything in a frenzy and keep the viewership popping. And that's part of being a superstar, if you ask me. So
what you're saying is it's turned into a soap opera.
Oh, fact.
Right. I'm like, is it? That's part of it. Like this ain't basketball then. Shoot.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing, a soap opera.
Reality TV right here.
Yeah. And you know what the crazy part is? Again, when people try to compare eras and stuff like that, like you can't. You just simply can't, because the rules are different. Social media is such a big influence, and me and Benji talk about this all the time. Publicity stunts. We would hear about that growing up, and we would see stuff here and there. You're like, oh, that's a publicity stunt. Publicity stunts are at an all-time high because it sells.
You do know Stephen A. Smith actually was on soap operas, right?
He's here for the drama, is what you're saying.
I mean,
he is drama.
No, and man, undeniably, like, he's living for this moment, and he's taking any little spin he can on it, and let me twirl a little more, let me mix it back up and represent it. Yeah, he's living for this moment.
But that's why he makes the big bucks.
Facts. That $100 million, because although we know it's supposed to be about basketball, it's supposed to be about you hooping, it's supposed to be about your skills. Listen, it ain't just that no more. You got to bring the media coverage, because people got to want to come to the game. And remember, our young people are growing up not just hooping, they're growing up in the social media era. So you got to be able to hit it, you know what I'm saying, and from all angles. So all I want to know is when Bron gone, who gonna carry that media torch?
Somebody will. People make a big deal out of the Bron thing, and they made a big deal out of Jordan when Jordan retired. Like, who's gonna take the mantle? Somebody's always gonna take it. I promise you. It hasn't been without a superstar for many decades. So somebody's gonna pick it up. Somebody's gonna run with it. And I was going to point out the fact of, we were growing up, everybody wanted to be athletes. Now everybody wants to be a content creator. I think the content creator has probably overtaken the athlete. Yeah. Overtaking the athlete for, jobs that these kids are kind of targeting and looking at. And you know what? Quite honestly, the odds are about the same. It's, you can create all kind of content. You can shoot all types of buckets. You know what I'm saying? Shoot all types of shots, but in order for you to make it to the top of the top, the likelihood of that is slim.
But I mean, hey, that's the era we in now, and that's what we got to deal with. So I mean, I ain't mad at Bron and Stephen A. for their what they're doing, because it is creating like a huge buzz, and then it gives folks something to talk about, and that's important. But here's the extra crazy part. Is that, when you add Bronny into it, you got the G League popping, and the G League ain't never been popping.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say popping. People pay a little bit more attention to it. They still ain't looking at the games, obviously, because when you talk to them about Bronny and they start talking all this different stuff, you be like, obviously, you ain't been looking at these games, player. Because if you did, you have a slightly different view. Now, he has had some big games. you know what I'm saying, as of late. So here's my thing with that. He had the big game. I think he had one game where he had 17, and then he had another game where he had 39. But people don't go back and look at the box score. Look at how many shots he took. And if you go back and look at the game, how many of those guys are they running sets for? Are they running, you know what I'm saying, running the double picks for? You know what I'm saying? Pin downs. Like they are literally trying to get him shots.
The setup is real.
Yeah. So it's not like it's just, you know, part of the game. He's scoring like this. Like
those aren't organic stats.
No, it is what it is, right? So I'm like I said again, I'm not taking anything away from Bronny because I want to see him be successful. But you know, I also know that there are guys like Matt McClung who have been in the G League who have put up crazy gaudy numbers at times and still sitting in the G League. So I'm just like, okay, if Bronny goes to if Bronny goes to Charlotte instead of LA, is he going to be playing meaningful minutes in Charlotte?
Not. I don't think so. I don't think.
See, that's what I'm saying. So again, the situation presents itself in such a way where you can't judge him on the same platform as you do the other guys that are in his area of draft pick, because they all have a totally different situation. So now, people, stop it.
It's gonna be interesting to see how next year plays out. I mean, you know, it's kind of looking way ahead, but it's gonna be interesting to see how next year plays out with, you know, Bronny and the whole situation. It's gonna be interesting. I'm actually kind of looking forward to that. See if he can actually carve out some meaningful minutes in the actual NBA on either the Lakers or another team, which I don't think he's going anywhere. I think, you know, he's stuck with the Lakers until Pop's gone. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I can't see anybody realistically wanting him.
I mean, listen, like
I'm sorry.
Not just about the basketball per se anymore.
I mean, but he's not even highly. He's only marketable because he's LeBron James' son. And then when LeBron James leaves, you're only so much until you don't put out enough either, and then you just become the LeBron James son flop.
Right.
So like it.
But if you gotta do something. If you drive the media, that matters nowadays. So
I promise you, I agree with Patricia, because if he goes to some other team and he gets out there and is getting cooked, the media is going. That same media that propels is going to be the same media that smack you on top of your dome every time you know what I'm saying, getting cooked. So it works both ways.
Right along. Yeah,
it works both ways.
But that, even in that though, that's still meaningful media coverage.
That's negative. That's not. Now this is also still, regardless of being marketable and media and getting attention, at the end of the day, for a team to thrive, negative isn't going to be the best for them. So they're not going to just want him for negative.
I don't know. We're in a different world now. I don't know.
We ain't got no Jerry Jones in the NBA, man. Ain't no Jerry Jones in the NBA out here driving stuff just for media stories and stuff.
Yeah, I don't
auctioning
think
off your whole organization just because people want to put your star on they put your logo somewhere and get paid for it. Nobody's doing that, man.
Thank
so
God
not in the NBA.
Have no Jerry Jones.
Bronny gonna drop a shoe and the world gonna go crazy.
Man, they already don't go crazy for LeBron. So what make you think they gonna go crazy for Bronny's? LeBron's is on sale right now, and I'm about to buy me another pair.
About to buy. How many pairs of LeBrons you got, fam?
5, maybe 5. Yeah, but I actually was hooping in mine. Like, I got one pair that I don't hoop in. That's just a casual pair, but the rest of them I was playing basketball in. They're pretty good basketball shoes. Yeah.
What
was
the shoe you tore your Achilles in? Them wasn't bronze, was it?
Yes, they were. Yes, they were. Matter of fact,
they're right there. They're right there.
They're right here. I usually don't do this on the air, but they sitting right here, man.
Oh Lord,
These
you never
shoes,
wearing them again,
Busted
are you?
up,
these
You're
busted
never
up.
shoes,
wearing them again.
I wore them. I wore them. They, my feet are huge, so they're not gonna fit on the screen. But I wore these shoes twice, and they back in the box with the paper and everything. They retired. So
Absolutely.
if
You know,
somebody out there knows a kid that needs some shoes, some size 15 LeBrons,
God
holla at your
damn.
boy.
they gonna get nobody to pull them joints up when you talk
You can
about.
put a whole newborn baby in that shoe.
Yeah, you really can.
Hey, you gonna have to get
Jeez.
brownies when they drop, fam. I'm telling you.
Nah, I'm good on the brownies, man. I'm good on those. But you know what I'm saying? What we talking about second tier bronze with the brownies, man, Bucky's is out here in the world and they pissed off because
Oh,
they filed a lawsuit against a Missouri-based Barkeys for, for for name and logo similarity.
What in the
I don't know if
Florida?
y'all can see it, but it's the logo is right over
on the
there
right.
to the right, and it's a
Yeah,
dog
little
in the
dog.
car. It's
He
called
got his
Barkeys.
he got his little drink with him.
Oh man, I said, yo, we love Bucky's, but Barkeys is not worse than Bookies though. There was a place in Mexico that somebody had replicated a Bucky's, and the Bucky the
Okay.
Bucky's
Okay. So
emblem.
what is a Bucky?
Bucky's is a gas station slash like mini mall type of situation that is traditionally in southern states right now, and they're branching out. But they have like 100. Go ahead.
Huh?
It's a Sam's Club type.
Yeah,
Hmm.
kinda, but
Okay.
they
Or is it
sell.
more like the gas stations that you see in Vegas? Where it's
Yeah,
kind of got the different kind of little food spots in it. You can get a little bit of different stuff in it, but it's a big gas station. That's
it's
like you
a
can stop,
huge
kind of
gas
like a
station.
one-stop shop, like huge.
Yes,
Yeah, got a bunch
yes,
of okay. There's a
it's got
couple
like
on the way when you get into Vegas when you're stepping in, so people can get what they need and stuff.
yeah,
So
it's got like
okay,
100 gas pumps. It's like it's
yeah,
enormous. Got great
okay.
restrooms. So but yeah, Bucky's is a big deal in the South, and these people tried to borrow a little bit of that. So Bucky's is like, nah, we ain't having it. Our brand, my name is my name. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not gonna bite off a piece of
Bucky's is bucking up. Listen,
say, man.
who you playing with?
They ain't playing. They went to the law.
Look, I'm not mad
You
at them.
know.
They might probably win it. I mean, Barky's got his little drink in his little car though. He chilling, so I don't know. Did they
But
win the
Yeah.
Bookies? Did they fight against Bookie? This
I,
just
I
sounds
don't
horrible. But
I don't
Bucky
I don't
fighting Bookie over Barky or what?
I don't think Buki's was even worth fighting over. It was so terribly built
Oh
and made.
no.
It was just like the logo was horrendous. I would say something, but I want to be politically correct. I don't want to say what the Buki's logo looked like, but it looked like it was missing some things here and there. So we'll talk about that offline. But anyway, yeah, man, it's a lot of wild stuff going on, and while we're talking about Bucky's known for what? Their food, their barbecue sandwiches, and Benji likes the chicken sandwich. Another place that used to have a pretty good chicken sandwich, but is known for their food is McDonald's.
mm-hmm.
This guy, a U.S. man, he said he has eaten a world record 3,500 McDonald's hamburgers, and he's in good health. How?
Ever like in his whole entire life, I'm certain, right?
How?
So he just breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
How? How is he in good
Like,
health? I don't care about the eating the man. And how is he in
Yeah.
good health?
I mean, I need to see the medical record.
I don't know, man.
I don't believe him, but I'm just curious to see it. I want to know the cholesterol levels, blood pressure levels. I want to know I want to know everything.
Bro
I'm
got
just
us.
curious. Well, he ain't fat though.
I don't know what his stomach is made of, what the lining of it is made of, Kevlar or something.
Maybe he got IBS, so maybe he got IBS, so it don't even stay in there. It just shoot right on out. Then if that's the case, You might be all right.
Well, shoot, if he got that, he got the same effect it has on most of us, and we ain't got IBS because if we eat McDonald's, it's gonna shoot right out of us too.
And McDonald's, I can't even. I can't even do nothing. Their breakfast is fire though. I can't lie though.
It is not.
Listen,
Ew.
listen. Last year,
No, no.
your boy tried the chicken Big Mac, and I regretted it, and I'll never try. I'll never do it again. I'll never do it again. I used to like
That
the
chicken
McChicken.
Big Mac was the worst decision they ever freaking made in their life.
Hey man,
Oh no.
Tragic.
my
Oh no.
stomach was toe up.
Now look at Benji. He had it and he loved it, didn't you?
Nuh-uh, I didn't try it.
Oh, I'm like, you was looking like you was vouching
Li-
for it for a second there. I wasn't sure.
Listen, I got PTSD. I used to
Right.
work manager for McDonald's,
Mm.
thousands. And listen, man, I got PTSD because the hamburgers, I had water thrown on me at McDonald's. I had greasy bags of food. The food smell would never come out of my clothes. So you went around, you know what I'm saying, 5 days a week smelling like burgers, even if you washed your clothes and fries.
Can
And
we
on
circle back to the water thrown on you? Can we just figure out how in the workspace of flipping burgers and packing orders did you get water thrown on you? Like
okay,
you pissed off a customer, huh?
so here's what happened, all right? So back in the day, I think they still do. They give out free waters, right? So our restaurant used to be super busy. We're talking about like 20 grand like a day. And the worst was the 11 to 7, 12 to 8 shift because you got the layover right from breakfast, then you hit lunch, and then that dinner rush, right? So we busy, you know what I'm saying? Shake machine down, you know what I'm saying? People mad all the time.
As
Shake machine
always.
down, y'all. Clearly, it's been down for 45, 50 years.
It's always been a tragedy, you know what I'm saying? But we know why the shake machine down because we got tired of cleaning that joint, so we just messed it up. We didn't put one of the O-rings in, so it closed down on its own. But that's another story. But you know what I'm saying? Some of my customer come up, they want some water. You know what I'm talking about? And back in the day, the lemonade and the water machine, you know what I'm saying? The little button was on it together. You know what I'm saying? So we rushing, bye, dude, man, where my water at? Where my water at? He, pitching a fit over some free water. And then, you know what I'm saying? I gave him some water, you know what I'm saying? But it was a little lemonade in that joint. He called me over. He like, man, this got lemonade in it. I ain't asked for no lemonade. I want some water. And he dashed the water on me.
You got to get that 30-second runoff so the lemonade run into and then you put the cup up.
Man, we was too busy for
I
all of that.
know. Well, that's why you got doused in it.
And he doused me, and then you know what I'm saying. My staff had to hold me back because I was finna lose my job that day because he was finna catch these hands.
He said, hold me back, hold me back.
I mean, no, it was like one of the situations where because we behind the counter in our restaurant, you know what I'm saying. We had that free space where you can walk up. Now they got it, it's a little different, but. He right over there, and I'm about to walk over, and we got like 15, 20 people on because we busy, and they like, nah, you can't do it. So they grabbed, like, it was crucial. But yeah, I've had PTSD from McDonald's, so I hate it when I even pass by. This stink to me. So
Well,
Well,
McDonald's would usually do one or two things. Either it's gonna give you the runs, or it's gonna stop you up, right? Well, how about this? How about a man on a United flight to Texas says the pilot broke the door down to the restroom and had him arrested for hogging the toilet. The
what?
man was in there for 45 minutes. He said he was constipated, man. He said he couldn't go. He was trying to sit. He was trying to, you know what I'm saying? He was having a little struggle and he was trying to make it happen. And people were complaining because other folks had to use the facilities and he was still in there.
I mean, I'm not sure how long the flight was, but if that was the case and it wasn't coming out, sir, sit your ass down. Like, go back to your seat. Clearly, it's not happening right now.
He
Like,
is down, Patricia.
no, he needs to go in his seat and sit down because it wasn't flying out the chute. Okay, he needed to get up. Like, there's a time and a place to be dealing with your own inability to shit. and it was not on the flight. That's crazy. But now
Yeah.
pulling them out with the cops and arresting, that's extra.
Oh
But
man.
you're also extra. Like this just wasn't the place.
Can you
Oh,
imagine?
on the plane,
Now
and you
imagine he was still mid peak when they got
all you getting is a bloop, bloop.
they'd have got him arrested.
Turtle head poking. He's like, wait, I finally got
Wait,
it.
it's coming. It's finally coming. But it scared the shit out of him. That's what happened.
Literally.
That facts.
That's what them cops came in. He said, I got it. It's working now. It's working now. It's working now.
Oh man. Like we talked about this a couple of episodes ago as well. Using the restroom on a plane, man, is one of those things that you only do if you absolutely have to, right? If you're in a super emergency, that's the only time you use the restroom on a plane. And you definitely shouldn't be doing number two. Like that's kind of an unwritten rule of,
Trying
you know what
to
I'm
force
saying?
out is crazy.
Yeah, man. So I know that dude was super embarrassed. He got arrested, and to
Did you
have
let him
to
his pants?
explain. Well, I'm just saying to have to explain to somebody that you what you got arrested
Rumor
for
has it he still hasn't taken a shit.
is crazy. Now that's diabolical.
You
All
right.
right, and we go shift gears a little bit, man. You know, what I'm saying, to some entertainment. A couple weeks ago, we also talked about Will Smith resurfacing, and he had been, you know, on some social media videos and things of that nature, you know, rapping, and you know, Will Smith has skills. Let me say that off the top, right? But if we're talking about poop, doo doo, feces, his new album,
Right.
I hate to say it. I hate to say it.
Oh
He
no.
he
Trash.
should have he should have stayed out studio
Yes.
and just left that alone, because I mean, and this is just Big Ken's opinion. Like, and I listened to it a couple of times. I tried to be fair about it, and again, I'm not saying that he cannot rap, because he clearly can, and you've seen him on freestyles and stuff, and he sounds really good. But for some reason, this album is not doing it for me. So I listened to it and listened to it again, and it wasn't working. So I just was like, man, you should have left that alone, because you know, once music passes you, you can try to assimilate to the newer generation, but
Yeah.
it the way he rapped and his lyrics and what he tried to the direction he tried to go with this album, I wasn't feeling it. So I
Is the
mean,
children on?
yeah, they got a song. Each one of them is on one of the songs. And he has like Big Sean and Joyner Lucas and a couple of other rappers on there. I mean, like I said, it's not terrible, but
Yeah.
it's not good either. So
Huh.
I mean, I'm just being honest. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Nah,
That
yeah, I'm
means it's
trying to, man, because that's Will Smith is my guy, man. I like Will Smith outside of the whole slapping thing. I thought that was kind of corny, but that's neither here nor there. Like, as far as him as an actor and the work that he's done in movies,
Yeah.
amazing. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Agreed.
Outstanding work. So I think that sometimes when you know, move to a different lane, like that's your new lane. Don't try to get over in this other lane, because that's an old lane that's blocked off for you right now.
Yeah, he found out where he belonged. He didn't need to. He didn't need to make a U-turn. No
Yeah,
U-turn.
nah, don't get back in that lane, bro. Leave that lane alone.
Now he did say he was about to. He got a tour set up, so
Are you
maybe
going?
you know.
Are you gonna go, Benji?
What
You
was
gonna
that?
go to the tour? I said you're gonna go to the tour.
Nah, I'm good.
No. Oh.
Now, if he
Speaking of
and
tours,
now if he tours and he has all his old catalog, that may be interesting. That may be a nice little joint. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I
Him
still wouldn't
and it,
go.
and if he pulls the right people to go on tour with him, that might be worthwhile, right? Because his old catalog, he's got some stuff,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
he got some good tracks sounding like Rakim.
yeah, back in the day. So, and then, you know, tracks like, you know, Welcome to Miami and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He had some hits, you know what I'm saying, in the early 2000s and stuff like that. But
He did.
anything beyond that, nah. Yeah,
I'm gonna just stick to my Chris Brown tickets I got.
facts.
Oh, I saw you post that
Oh
on your.
yeah, yeah. They
Uh,
had 70,000 people in the queue. I was in there way before that though. Like
dang.
I
Well,
was
all
in
right.
there when it was like 2,000 people in the queue.
Jesus, got there early, huh?
Absolutely, you got to read the fine print that says you can get in line 15 minutes early.
Okay, what going on with your bad self? I mean, I ain't mad at you. I heard his concerts are bananas.
I've gone to 3 in my life.
I heard it be a
Uh,
whole women there though.
huh?
I said it. I heard it be a whole bunch of musty women there though.
Oh well, I don't know because I haven't experienced that version. So hopefully, I continue to be around crowds of people that utilize soap, water, and deodorant, and body spray, perfumes, and those things,
Right.
um, and moist towelettes, whatever they need to keep it together while they're there. But um, no, but yeah. So the tickets weren't even crazy either. But I did go back in, and when I went back in, the tickets were insane
Pri-
and they were higher up like in the seating and cost more than what I got when I'm down there almost at the bottom. And
oh,
I
I,
was just like,
I would have sold my ticket. Well, no. That'd be hustling backwards. Never mind.
yeah, no, I'm in a very good spot for a very low price.
Mm.
That's dope.
I'm planning the next cruise for Greece, so I'll forget
Are
Christmas.
you? Yeah, I'm getting ready to leave Thursday
Oh, look
on a cruise.
going
I'll
on
be
with
back Monday and in time for podcast. So,
going
but
on
yeah,
with.
I'm getting ready to take. I need it. It's a little break.
Yeah, I
Little
Take a
need.
little,
breaky break.
I ain't gonna
take
need
a
a lot.
little baby girl with me too. You need a little break too.
Well, I tell you somebody who needs a break. That's Will Smith. He need to take a break from making music.
Oh
Damn.
no,
So
he took a break. He needs to just stop.
no, he need to
Circle
take
back.
another one. He need to take
No,
another one.
he
It's
just
the
needs
same
to
length of
break
time that he
break the
took this time,
tie.
20 years. He need to take another one. He
He
need to
needs
take
to
another
break
one.
off and sever his relationship with music.
Severed.
Yeah. But I
I
tell you one person who is, kind of in that same era where, well, not the same era of music, but kind of in that same era where he does a lot of TV now and he does music. He did music, but he figured out that I might not need to do so much music and let me focus on this TV stuff. And that's 50 Cent. He
yeah.
secured a 30-year lease in Shreveport for G Unit Studios. So a
30
lot of the
years.
shows we love to watch that are part of that Power universe are now going to continue. And he's got a lot of other stuff lined up. The only one that I'm kind of worried about is BMF. I know they got
Man,
this last season done, but I'm afraid that it might be the last one.
but it's my favorite too. That is my favorite of all of them. I ain't gonna lie. I like BMF the most.
Yeah, BMF is very dope. I like all of them. I've been a fan of the whole Power Universe and
Yeah.
BMF and all the stuff that that he's done. Very dope work. But I'm glad that he allows other people to do the music, and then every now and again you might hear him on the track here and there, but it's not him trying to do something that's not him. If you hear him on the track, it's something that you would traditionally hear 50 Cent put bars to.
Right. He's I think he's entering that space where he wants that money when he's sleep from the movies while the reels is running. So let me create something totally different. You get what I'm saying? So I can dig that because a 30-year lease out in Louisiana, I know he got that for dirt cheap, to be honest. I ain't gonna, he probably got that for dirt cheap. So I salute that because that's the new wave. I mean, to us, but the new trend is to get your own, man, and create your own buzz and create
Mhm.
your platform and put your own stuff out there. So I'm totally with it. I dig it. I'm loving it.
I'm
Yeah,
here
for
for it.
sure. Yeah, for sure, for sure. So shout out to him, man. I can't wait to see those new projects and some of these older projects that's been out for a minute and that's on like season 6, season 7. I want to see him continue, man. Keep telling the stories, man. We love it.
Now
Um,
let me ask you a question, Ken. If you are in 50 shoes and work with somebody, who would you want to work with right off the top of your head, movie wise?
Man, I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. I probably wouldn't have a preference It just for me, it just depends on the script, what type of movie it is, like what direction we going with it, because there's so many great new actors and actresses out there. So I mean, I don't really even know, bro. I mean, of course, the
Yeah, that's true.
traditional people would say, you would want to, if you're a producer or a director, yeah, you would want to have somebody like a Denzel or Samuel L. Jackson, credit on your projects. What I'm saying, at some point in time, because that kind of solidifies you or stamps you. Or like we talked about with Will Smith, have Will Smith star in one of your movies. That's pretty big. But outside of that, you know, I don't have too many preferences because I've seen great movies with people with actors and actresses that I didn't know, and
Right,
I've
right.
seen terrible movies with a bunch of people that I'm very familiar with. So I just want to see a good script.
Facts,
Good,
facts.
tell me a good story. Keep me interested. And
The first person that came to my mind was, of course, Will Smith. I was like, I wonder if he could land a project with Will Smith if he got that kind of budget, that kind of money, because Will can act us behind also.
yeah. So speaking of getting money, man, this guy right here just got some new money as well. Boom, Prime,
Yeah,
5-year deal,
Ooh,
$54 million
baby.
to stay at Colorado. And I told people this when they were talking about he was going to the NFL and all this other stuff. I'm like, listen, number one, the NFL is not going to pay him as much money as these colleges. Number two, he's not going to have the control that he has at Colorado. So it wouldn't make sense for him to go to an NFL team and become somebody's workhorse.
I
Just don't
agree.
make sense.
It don't make sense. He he gets to be full-fledged him in Colorado, from the marketing, from controlling the narrative, controlling the media, picking the coaches he wants, hiring the staff. Like they've given him full control of everything in Colorado, and I'm like, and on top of that, the jerseys and the designs and all of that are fire. Like he has a hand in all of that. I'm like, why would you leave that? There's literally no reason for you to leave that unless some crazy scandal or something like that. But the fact that he get to do all that, I can't see him leaving anytime soon. Period. Anyway.
Nah, not at all, man. And I expect with the coaching staff that he has and the players that he's been getting committed to him, whether it's new commits or through the portal. They have a pretty good roster. So I'm expecting them to be successful, really successful the next few seasons and build toward, possibly making the college playoffs pretty soon. So anything less than that, I'm pretty sure it will be considered a failure for most. So shout out to them, man, and he got that money. So let's let's get it.
Now, what's interesting too is that this contract is more than his entire NFL contract. If I'm not mistaken, he never made 54 million as a football player in the NFL.
I have no idea, bro.
Yeah, I haven't. I didn't pay any attention to it, but I know, like you said, playoffs is coming up. That's definitely in the near future for him. I see.
Yeah.
I see it. They knew what they did. They knew they had to pay him his worth too to keep him from looking elsewhere. Um, and they would be stupid to not to. So
Yeah, you
I,
got to keep getting money off of things like these glasses I got on, like these Dion's I got on right now. You know what I'm saying? Those type of things are what he controls at Colorado. So, what I'm saying? He controls his
yeah,
brand as a whole. So, I'm saying?
and then
Shout
he's
out to
not going to
them.
be able to do that in NFL wise.
No.
He's gonna. They're gonna dictate. They're gonna. And politics and whatnot. So he gets to where he's at right now. He's comfortable. He calls shots. He gets to do what he wants and be him. And then so that's where he needs to be.
Jerry
Yep.
go percentage.
Well, Jerry gets none. Jerry's got bigger fish to fry right now. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, man,
Isn't wait a minute? Aren't they staying? Wasn't there or did I read wrong? Something about the talks of the quarterback going possibly somewhere from your Cowboys.
Well, last week they were talking about the Browns, but a lot of people said that was, just somebody made up something. It wasn't
Okay.
any substantiation to it. I mean, could
I
I
was
see
trying to
that
think
happening? Yeah, because the Browns have a high draft pick, right?
Yeah.
And if the Cowboys wanted to get into that spot, that's a way that they could do it. But I don't know. And for them to be able to do that, also the biggest thing is Dak has a no trade clause, so he would have to waive that, and he would have to, be wanting to go to Cleveland, which I'm not sure that that's what he wants.
yeah.
And plus,
Okay.
Watson.
I meant to ask you that, so you reminded me in that moment. Like, let me ask you about your team now.
Yeah. So I think he's he's good where he is in his mind. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Well, speaking of people who good where they at, but these people ain't good where they at. This story popped up. A federal judge has determined that the extreme heat in Texas prisons is unconstitutional. Texas still has prisons, as well as across the United States, that don't have air conditioning. And these guys in the summertime absolutely struggle. But nobody cares because nobody told you to do anything and commit a crime to go to jail.
Yeah, I'm tripping off of that. Like, I mean, hey, everybody got rights.
I
Right?
mean, yeah, because it's inhumane. If they consider it inhumane, like in places that reach 120 or whatever, to have a unit without some type of air conditioning unit in it, then it's kind of the same for every human.
Yeah. I totally agree. I think it definitely is unconstitutional. Regardless to them being locked up for whatever they've done, they deserve air conditioning just like anybody else, just like any other human would. And they sent you to jail to, what I'm saying, to serve out your prison sentence. They didn't send you there to die of heat exhaustion or die of a heat stroke. So that's a little extreme.
Look at America. Look at America caring
No,
about.
because there's so many things still wrong with America. Don't get excited. Don't get excited.
Well, like I said, that's just that's on the cover. That doesn't mean that these prisons are actually doing it, because with so many private prisons out there, that adhere to their own rules and stuff like that, like you, it could get very sticky. No
It's
pun intended.
money for sure. I want
Yeah.
to know who's gonna build the AC unit in them prisons. Government or what?
No,
Prisoners.
if they're private prisons, then they have to pay for that stuff on their own, unless it's
Oh yeah,
a
private.
state prison or unless it's a federal prison. So, whoever owns it is up for the fit the bill for it. So,
Yeah,
but I'm
which
pretty
means
sure.
they're less likely to ever do it.
Well, I'm pretty sure that those prisons that they're speaking of are probably private owned prisons. So,
That's
yeah,
true.
yeah. So, but that's crazy. But I'm telling you what else is crazy. Somebody who's locked up and who deserves to be locked up for the wild stuff that he's been doing is this guy who nobody knows, but the Texas man was arrested after he was accused of ramming a mini four-wheeler into a parked Tesla. So hold on, but you got to check this out.
No, they said he could have just ran into it and did more. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Because what in the Mario Kart is happening? What? And the music, shut up.
Yeah, I put that music with. I thought it was perfect to go with that. So.
It was.
Oh man, hold on. Let me do that one more time. Let me do it one more time. Hold on, let me do it one more time. Man,
what shifting it in reverse down there?
He hit it with some force though, because it lifted him up off of it. So he
just went on and just ran on up and just.
Oh man, hey man,
he didn't even calculate it well.
What was reasoning? He just mad. It was too hot.
He was mad. It was a Tesla. People have been damaging Teslas.
To the Teslas. There's one where they took all the tires off of all the Teslas in the lot, and then another lady got arrested because she put gum on a Tesla. And there's a lot of things been happening to Teslas because of the fact with the whole Elon,
Yeah. So they've been damaging Teslas. So if you got a Tesla, watch your back. People out here doing some of the wildest stuff to your vehicles. Luckily for this person and for Tesla owners, Teslas are equipped with cameras, security cameras around the vehicle. So they caught that footage, and that's how they actually caught him, because the person submitted the footage, and they were actually able to find him.
Well,
And yeah,
I'm sure the Tesla sustained not one bit of any type of damage
I don't
coming from
know.
him.
I don't know. That's a big fella. He like
He
he
didn't
like
do nothing.
I don't know. I don't have the pictures of the car, but I will definitely look up the pictures and see if they have
I
pictures of
want
the
to see,
car.
because if there ain't a scratch on that thing,
I'm pretty sure it's a scratch or a dent or something. Now, if it was a Cybertruck, maybe not.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
if it was a car, oh yeah, it definitely got some damage to it for
he
sure.
tried. He came for that. He gave full throttle.
He was hotter than fish grease.
He was mad about it.
He ain't fooling with Elon. He like, I can't
At
stand.
all. And speaking of people who was in jail, I can't say locked up. Somebody who was locked up but is now out. I know this is something that's local to Dallas, but it has become national news. Is rapper Yellow Beezy was released from jail after he got his bond reduced from $2 million to $750,000. Yeah, and people had some comments about it. They were like, this rapper, he got all this money. Why would he, wait? Why would he sit in jail? And he just could have bonded out. Um, if you got money, you probably want to save a little bit. So I'm pretty sure his lawyers knew that, and they suggested, hey, just sit for a couple of days. We're gonna try to get this bond reduced, and then we'll bond you out and save you some money.
Got to pay them lawyers too, anyway. So the lawyers, yeah, let's bring the bond down.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Grandma helped with that, because they were trying to grill her about, shouldn't he have this money? Shouldn't this and shouldn't that? And she was like, he don't make that kind of money no more. She really, kind of fit the narrative.
Grandma was just there. Wasn't nobody listening to grandma. Them folks already knew what that man made, and they knew what kind of money that man had. They call grandma as a character witness, but that's just like somebody asking a family member to come in and be a character. Man, ain't nobody listening to them.
They put her on the
Of course, you're gonna say everything that sounds great.
Facts. You know what I'm saying? But here's the crazy part, though, about this whole story for people who are not familiar with Yellow Beezy and the reason why he was arrested. He was arrested for murder, and with a capital murder charge, in relation to the death of another Dallas rapper, Mo 3. Mo 3 was killed on a Dallas freeway back in 2020. I think I have the footage here, and this is, when they were in the court, they actually showed the video of the hitman running him down, basically shooting at the car, and this was in broad daylight, as you can see. But let me let you check out a little bit of the video. I didn't want to show the whole video, of course, but I have a portion of it that you can check out, and you can see how crazy this is, and we can talk about it for a second. So check it out. Now, as you can see from the video, they were in broad daylight. This was, I think, around noon time on a Dallas freeway, but you got to keep in context too, around that time, 2020, pandemic and all that stuff was going on, so it was not as crowded as it probably would have been. And there just happened to be a trucker that was driving behind him who had a dash cam. So that's where that footage came from, that trucker's dash cam. And as you can see, the car stops. Now, people have been saying, that's stupid. Why would he stop? Why wouldn't he keep going? Now, from what I was told, the guy was shooting at the car already. So possibly disabled the car, flattened the car's tire, something shot the car tire out, so he could not continue to drive. So that's why he stopped. And when he stopped, he had a pistol supposedly in the glove compartment on the other side. So he was trying to run around and get the pistol out of the glove compartment or under the seat. Somebody, it's conflicting stories about that. The gun was gone. So there's another theory that somebody removed it. mean, they set him up. So couldn't get the pistol, or didn't have time to get the pistol. But when they searched the car, they didn't find the pistol. So, as you can see, he ran to try to, get away from the hitman. And of course, you saw how fast that hitman was running. And if you've ever seen Mo3 before, and I've seen him around Dallas quite a few times, he's a little guy. He's got little legs. He wasn't gonna be able to get that far that fast, man.
With that heat too, though. It wasn't just no
No,
little
yeah, he unfortunately, what I'm saying, he as they say, he walked him down, and and killed him right in broad daylight in the middle of the freeway. And if you see the whole video, people are just driving around it. People are trying to speed away from it. And it's not only the fact that he killed Mo3, like him shooting the way he was shooting, he could have killed somebody else. And I think he did actually injure somebody else, and somebody else was shot too, while the hitman was trying to shoot him. So that's just wild, man. To for something like that to happen in broad daylight, it just doesn't even seem real, bro. But that's the type of stuff that goes on in the world today, man. So it's crazy, man.
It's crazy that somebody would do that, right? So the beef was real. That you do not care. It's one thing to be like, you know what, ain't nobody on the freeway, but you stop your car in the middle of the freeway and gun some, like, totally
broad daylight. Broad
Well,
daylight. Not only that.
Well, he's a hitman, so he wants to get paid by any means. So
yeah, and I mean, they don't have. Do they have? They don't have who shot him, right? Because you can't even tell who that is.
The guy who shot him, supposedly they got the guy. He's in jail right now, but that guy is saying that that's not him. He's saying he didn't shoot him. He's saying that's not him on the video. So
you can't really make out who's on that video.
Well, I mean, they said that they had
stuff too, though. So
they said they had some other things like cell phone records and all that type of stuff that that whoever was following him was sitting on him, as they say, and they were following him from the night before when he was at some girl's house, and they're saying that had something to do with it, but it's also the beef that he has with Yellow Beezy and Trap Boy Freddy, and it's just a lot to that story. So of course, locally, we hear 50 million stories and people who are involved and all these different theories. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, in the rap community lately, it's just gone crazy where every time you look up, it's a rapper getting killed. It's a rapper going to jail, if not both. So, man, so I don't know what's going on out here, man, but at some point in time, something's got to give, man. And if not, this is just a vicious cycle that's just beginning. If there's no, if there's no OGs, or I think that's really the biggest thing that we talk about now is there's no OGs anymore. Like when we were younger, like in hood terms, there used to be OGs, the guys who call shots, and now the guys who call shots are not even respected anymore. So
dudes want their money. Dudes want their money by any means necessary. And if you struggling, you young, you 18, 19, 20, 25 to life, never cross your mind when 50,000, you ain't never seen 50K ever in your life, 20K, 10, 15K. And all I got to do is bump off somebody I don't like already. I don't like him. Oh, that's like cakewalk for you. So, I mean, when you tie money into it, money make people do some strange things. So I'm all too familiar with that. So, but hey, to do that in broad daylight is wild. Like, gun down, park your car in the middle of the freeway, and like, I'm gonna take this dude out. Period. Like, I don't like him. Let me
finish the job.
Right.
In his world, it's business.
Business.
Yeah. So for 40K, what I'm saying, he risked everything that he had. So, I hope for them, it was worth it, because at the end of the day, they took a life, and, unfortunately his life is gone as well if he's convicted of the murder. So, Yeah, it's just crazy, man. It's just hardening to see, man. These young dudes are out here like that, man. So,
I mean,
but
he probably, whoever it was, enjoyed that 40,000. He's probably spent it all in one day, 1 or 2 days, and he enjoyed himself, and
yeah,
that's be the highlight of his life. So I mean, that's the sad reality of it.
it is what it is. And speaking of people malfunctioning, because clearly, if you're doing stupid stuff like that, you have a major malfunction in your brain. Ain't gonna be too much malfunctioning no more because Bill Gates said within 10 years AI robots will be replacing many teachers and doctors. And if teachers and doctors are going to be replaced by AI robots, that means other things are going to be replaced by robots as well. So this is crazy. This is getting crazy. And we used to hear about stuff and see sci-fi movies and Back to the Future and all these futuristic movies, and it
What is
just
it?
like
I am
entertainment.
robot.
Now it's like, dang, this is getting real, because if you use AI anything and you see how powerful it is, you're like,
Yeah,
oh
ChatGPT.
my God.
facts.
Oh
It's
my
Yeah.
God.
your robot girl gonna be here in a minute. They already creating a little thing to make make them look fleshy, touchy, skin and all of that. Like, yeah, it's gonna get real crazy.
Vince,
I,
you
I'm
already been looking in the catalog?
Right. I'm like, you want to pre-order?
Yeah.
I'm good. I like women. Never mind. Uh, sounds amazing. Never, but hey, listen, I'm trying to tell you, man. I am waiting for the day to where I see a robot homie in the store. Now, I've already seen one at the pho joint. Pull up and drop your food off. I'm waiting to pull up on a robot paying at the register. That's gonna be hilarious.
Well,
So,
I
at
don't
that
but
point,
yeah,
that's a little inefficient. If he has to pull up and pay at the register, he should be able to just send a signal, tack on some type of tap pay type vibe, pay, and it just do do do, and he just walk out. It's kind of like the Clippers stadium right now, where you have to set up a profile and it's all face recognition, and you can literally walk out of the store and they charge you a card
mm-hmm.
but don't
because
y'all think that's a little intrusive? You know
I,
what I'm
I
saying?
think I
Like,
think it is. I think it's crazy. Like it's wild. But I mean, so that's if that's the tip of the iceberg here with the AI and just the ability to do things with just facial recognition or just whatever. Like it's gonna be crazy.
People
Like, I'm
want,
pretty sure they already do it, but what I'm saying, to do it out front where you can see and know that it's being done is a whole new level of, what I'm saying, like transition, because that means that if one place is doing it, pretty soon it's going to become, as they call, industry standard.
Right.
And then next thing you know, everybody's going to have a system similar to that or the same system. So, yes, it's
in,
very interesting, man.
instant grits, instant oatmeal became a thing. We loved it. Now we're finna get instant service.
Now you finna get instant fired. Some people finna get instant fired because a robot took their
Absolutely.
job.
As
Now I see why dude was drive the cart. I want to drive the cart into the robot. Good man, sit your ass.
Well, this AI stuff is really taking over too, man, because ChatGPT's new AI image generation feature has caused a company's processors to melt.
Wait, what?
It just was that powerful that it started to melt processors, that it
Oh,
caused some phones to overheat. If you're not familiar with ChatGPT is very, very powerful. You
yeah,
can ask it generally anything or put any idea in there. And I've seen people say that they went to Chat GPT and some of these other AI engines and asked it to write a whole book.
yeah.
I've seen people that the AI engines wrote a song for them. So I mean, it's getting to a point to where if you don't know how to use AI technology, you're going to be left in the dust.
Yeah, I agree.
hey, I love me some Chat GPT. I use it when I gotta respond to my peers in class. I don't care what you wrote. I'm just here to do my work. So I be like, copy what Carla said, 100 to 200 word response. Make sure you do it from a peer to peer type of response, not as if I'm her teacher. Be sure to sound down to earth. Don't be too wordy. Don't be too specific. Don't. Be and then boom, I'll be like, bet, copy, paste. Moving on now to Jack. Let's go ahead and do his. Like I don't got time for that part. I got life to do. Like yeah, I love me some Chat GPT. Come on, chat. Let's get it together.
It blessed me, so I ain't mad at it. It got me paid off of ebooks, so I am not mad at it.
That's a fact. Benji gonna be out here asking it to write them whole sermons on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and write that up.
Actually, people do that actually already right now because it's funny because we used to write messages for our pastor and stuff like that, our own study material. But can you imagine now, like the way pastors are so busy now, they don't have time to sit down and study like they used to. They need a message that's actually put out there properly, that's good, that they can kind of read over, gloss over, and kind of use instantaneous. So it's going to be a great benefit if used in the right way in that space. But with the amount of teaching and stuff that's going on in a lot of places right now, it's actually really helpful because most people, you just give them a script and they go up and they read it and that's it.
Man, it's crazy. We living in an age where your ghostwriter finna have a ghostwriter.
Fact, facts.
That just think of that. Your ghostwriter got a ghostwriter. So that's crazy.
Hey, facts.
Instantaneous. I need to quit. He just
But
got he just got off the plane. Uh Hour drive to get to your church. He needs some bam ASAP. Boom, boom. There you go. Done. Ready to roll. It
but
happens.
but with this AI, man, the AI is super huge on social media, and I don't know if you all have been paying attention to it, where Facebook has started to make a lot of changes as well, going backward as far as some of their stuff, and also looking at some other options as far as ways they can charge you. So Facebook launches a friends only feed, which removes algorithm content recommendations. So it'll get all those, groups and all the other stuff that you look at that it suggests to you off of that feed and show you only the people who are on your friends list. That's the way it used to be. That's the
Right.
way it used to be. It used to be just your friends, and you'd be able to click on another little thing to open it up. But now it's flipped the reverse because they want to be able to give you the ads, right? They want to be able to, show you all the stuff that you can buy, tap into the things that you search and put it on your page. You go and you search for, what I'm saying, beard oil. Next thing you know, you scrolling down your timeline, you see all these advertisements for beard oil.
Right.
So they use it, but at least they give you another option. But here's the tricky part: this is what they're doing as well. They have a plan to charge $14 a month subscription for ad-free Instagram and Facebook experience. So in
Dang.
order for you not to see that the ads, they're planning on charging folks $14 a month for that.
I don't care that much to
Me
pay that. I don't care.
as
They
as
they can miss me with that. Life ain't that. Who cares? Show me
yeah,
an ad. That's cool. I don't care.
that's in YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm playing it all day in my shop, running YouTube. I ain't buying nobody's subscription, no nothing. Eh, Would you like to buy a McDonald's burger for $14.99? Boop, skip the ad, and then we run and get to the next song. We good. I ain't paying for that.
All right, so we got a comment from Mike Lampkin on YouTube. Shout out to my guy Mike, man. Mike is also the producer and the director for a movie your boy's in right now. We'll talk about that at another time. But yeah,
Okay,
shout out to
okay.
my guy Mike, man. He's like, he don't have Facebook. Is it still worth having? Mike,
Well,
yes. Yes,
Yeah,
it is. Because if
eh,
you have any business of any sort,
yeah.
of anything that you're
Oh,
trying to
he's
get out to the
business too.
masses,
Yeah.
you definitely should have, all forms of social media, to be at the very minimum have the ability to put your ads out, put your clips out, and things of that nature. Now whether you interact on a daily basis, that's up to you, but at least have the channel to put your stuff out there. So put your content out there. So that's the biggest thing. So yes, if I were you, I would create a Facebook for your production company and pump stuff out, because Facebook is still a very viable place.
It's easy work, and when you get to space where you have tons of followers, really you posting just to keep the payment scale going.
Yeah, that's true too.
We ain't really tripping off all of the extra stuff. Like you posting so you can get, the likes, the views, and this, and that, because that's what pays you. So you don't really care at that point. But if you got legit content and you putting it out there, it's easy money.
Yep.
And nowadays, really, to be honest, you can set up all your to run any time of day that you want, and they'll schedule it, they'll post it, they'll put it out there, and then you can have an ads manager which does all. So it's easy work, to be honest. But hey,
Yep. Yep. Well, I definitely utilize all social media platforms, and we do here at the Fire Session. So I would suggest any business owner or anybody who has content of any sort to get out, I would suggest you use it. So because
facts,
it definitely works for us.
facts.
All right, so let's switch gears a little bit. You know, we're talking about social media, but the U.S. immigration has began collecting social media handles for migrants seeking citizenship. Right? You know how crazy that is. The immigration office is going to your social media site to vet you, right? What and so if you are somebody who's going through that process, you better scrub your social media clean.
I be talking about Trump on that joint.
Or doing anything illegal that could be considered illegal or questionable, because they're gonna have, you know, at this point it looks like they're looking for things to disqualify you rather than qualify you.
Right, right.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, for
Right.
sure.
I think
So
I think that's the whole process of trying to really give a reason to rule you out. No, you can't come here because
Yeah.
that. So I can understand that. I can see it.
that's a fact. So, you know, if anybody is watching this and you have social media and you are going through the process of trying to get legal citizenship here in the United States, I would suggest you probably delete your page. Don't even
America
have
is
one.
it. America's ain't it. Don't
Don't
don't even worry about coming here right now.
I
Give
don't
it 3
know.
more years.
I don't know, because I ain't never been to Mexico like that. So from
True.
what
So
I
I don't know
hear, it
what
ain't
y'all dealing
popping.
with. I don't know what y'all dealing with, but
I
Listen,
don't know.
I'm trying to get to Spain or Greece. As long as they ain't tripping, I'm good. I'm trying to go
you're
on a
just
cruise.
going to visit. These are people
Yes,
trying to come find new lives.
I mean, all girls might go over there and stay. You know what I'm saying? Get treated real good. You know
You
what I'm
want to
saying?
stay over there?
Yeah,
Okay.
Benji fit right in. You know what I'm saying? Get him some silk shirts. You know what I'm saying? The skin
Let the
tone is
breeze
already there.
get the
Yeah.
one button, just let the breeze hit you.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? You know what I'm saying? Float with you.
Silk shirt. You got the curly hair. You know what I'm saying? Silk shirt.
Be in there like swimwear. You know what I'm saying? You
Learn
know,
a couple bachata dances. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
already.
Okay.
All right. Well, we talk about immigration, but guess what's wild, man? You know, Texas is right here next to the border as well as California. So we hear a lot of these stories, but this right here is still going on. North Texas man sentenced to prison for smuggling illegal immigrants in a tractor trailer. This happens all the time, I'm pretty sure. It just so happens that this one got caught.
I mean, listen, Negroes been being smuggled since forever. So that ain't nothing new. You know what I'm saying? How did you hear about the story about the man who put himself in the animal cage and got shipped from?
But see, my question with this is, if you are a driver and you go to pick up a load and the load's already loaded and you're just supposed to go there and pick up a load and take it somewhere, um like if you go to pick up a load and it's got people in there and you don't know that's wild that you get caught and you go to jail for that.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. It's not funny, but it's funny.
It's
I'm just
hilarious.
thinking about the moment you check your load or whatever at the end, you like,
Got
it's
about
babies crying, it's all kind of stuff. Like, what in the world did I pick up?
Yeah,
Man,
man,
That's crazy.
that's like smuggling somebody else's dope.
I mean, it happens daily, right?
Yeah,
Where these truck
yeah,
drivers, who are very, very, important to our way of life, getting goods and services, what I'm saying, supplied for us, back and forth across different borders. But with everything good comes in, there's some stuff that sneaks in here, and including people. So unfortunately, it's very, very dangerous too, because if you're traveling somewhere like Mexico, Texas, it's extremely hot at some points. And if you're in a trailer, especially one that isn't like a refrigerated trailer or cooled, that's very, very dangerous, man. And I'm pretty sure that not everybody is gonna make those trips. So, at the end of the day, like we talked about earlier with, what I'm saying, humans, as a whole, I don't want to see anybody subjected to any situation that's gonna be deadly for them. Like we talked about with the prisons earlier, not having air conditioning.
right.
But this is the reality of what we have to deal with. So, unfortunately, this is just where we are in America right now, and it's a big issue. So, I hope that these people that are trying to get over here from wherever they're coming from, whatever country they're coming from, try to go through the correct processes and don't risk life and limb to try to become a citizen of the United States of America.
Yeah, and I understand to some it's worth it, and they ain't got whatever it might cost or take to go through the legal version of it. But a life, I ain't losing my life just to be over here dealing with these suckers.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Well, speaking of travel, man, the Republicans look to abolish TSA in favor of a private security at airports. This is problematic. This is problematic
What?
to me
Break that
because
down to me. Like
okay, so
private
T
security. I
okay,
understand the TSA.
yeah. Okay, so for the people out there who are not familiar with TSA, TSA is basically just a security team that's at every airport, right? And it's continuity across the board because it's run by that one program. Like the rules are the same, the regulations are the same. When you start getting private security, you start to get some things occurring that's not consistent across the board. So if I fly from Dallas to Cali, when I leave Dallas, there's a certain security firm here that's hosting it. And then if not the same security firm that's hosting it in Cali, and I get there, something that was allowed here is not allowed there. And you have some
Yeah,
inconsistencies, right?
yeah.
So
Okay, okay.
that could be problematic. That
Yeah,
could be
for sure.
problematic. And also it leaves too many gray areas. It leaves too many gray areas. So I definitely wouldn't want to see that happen because I think we
No.
all we all travel enough to kind of be be caught up and have to experience a headache that I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
is
no,
going
I
to
don't have
occur if that
no time
happens.
for I don't have no time for that. Some inconsistencies across the board. Now I'm
Man,
held up and going to jail because I done brought something that was illegal there now that ain't that never was in the first place. But their security said I can't have it or whatever. I got to throw my luggage away because it's this or that or I'd be mad. That's wild. We can't have that. What's
Yeah.
wrong with the Republicans?
Yeah,
That's
no,
that's wild.
we definitely can't have that. But at the end of the day, a lot of these people have friends that own security firms and things of that nature. So they just looking at the bottom line and trying to put some money in their pocket. They're not looking at how the average American would feel about travel and the things that we would experience as the average person because they don't go through the same things that we go through. So, of course they don't care. But yeah, I definitely don't want to see that change. So as much as I don't champion TSA, I'd rather have TSA than a regular
Yeah, than a
security.
circus. I'd rather
Yeah,
have TSA than a circus.
yeah,
facts.
facts. All right, a lot of this stuff is going on that Trump has implemented and they're trying to do was, a lot of big news has been talking about the tariffs, right, on stuff that's the import that's coming in. So, what I'm saying with the cars, he announced that it's 25% tariff on all cars not built in the United States. So, I'm not sure what kind of cars y'all drive, but I do have a couple of foreign cars. as of the last year or so, and I used to have just all Chevy stuff, so all Chevy and GM stuff, but now I have a couple of Volkswagens. So it's like, man, yeah, 25% is a lot. These cars are already expensive. The interest rates are already kind of high from what they were previously. So now, whatever car you buy from overseas, especially if it's an exotic car or something like that, you really got to want that car because you're gonna have to pay an arm and a leg for it.
Another close to 8 to 10 grand just on the purchase of it, and who knows what the parts are going to cost if anything happens. You know what I'm saying, to the car. But I mean, I kind of understand where it's going. Wanting people to buy American, made cars, I kind of understand it. But
They just want people to buy Teslas.
What was that?
They just want people to buy Teslas.
That's a fact.
I would think that that's it.
I saw a pie chart that showed all the different car companies and how much of their fleet is made in the United States, and Tesla was the only one on that page that was 100% produced in the United States.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it's very ironic. Very ironic.
Yeah, like it's ironic yet obvious if you pay attention. Like,
that's a fact.
I mean, I drive Ford. I like Mustang's my thing, but
I got a Benz, but we drive we also have the VW electric car. So it's interesting to note that, because I wonder what them parts would cost if something happened to the ride. The electric,
it's gonna cost
all of them receive some type of parts in some way from overseas, so it's going to go up in general on all cars unless it's a Tesla.
Yeah, well, you know what? The crazy thing about it is what you're saying, Trisha Michelle, is exactly right. Most of these cars, especially the electronics, are produced overseas. So everybody's gonna feel the crunch of, the tariffs being, hit with everything that comes from across the waters. So not only do you have to wait for the part now, because that's an extended amount of time that, for stuff being transported back and forth now, you're going to pay more for it as well. So that really sucks.
Yeah. Well, in Cali, everybody and their mama buying a Tesla. So I mean,
not me or my mama over here. I don't want one.
I wouldn't mind one as a, here and there vehicle. You get them?
I just think that there's so many better looking electronic vehicles.
I agree.
For me to choose that electronic vehicle.
Right.
Like, I understand the mechanics put into that Tesla though. So, I wouldn't mind some features, but a lot of the new electronic cars are getting those features too. Yes, for a higher price than overseas for it. But I just don't care for the look. I don't care.
I do like the Model
S. It ain't hot. It ain't fire. For me, it's just it would be just for the travel idea, the concept to not have to pay. Not have to pay for gas. It's kind of dope though. I can't lie.
Now the Model S is fire. Now the rest of them, no, but the Model S is is pretty fire. I get it, because most of those cars look like little bubbles.
And you can cheap right now too, so their stock has went down pretty significantly. So
well, yeah, you got big guys running into them with go-karts.
Well, yeah. So I mean, but like I said, I mean, there's going to be a lot of things that are being taxed because we get a lot of stuff from overseas that we use in our everyday life. So just expect prices to go up. You know what I'm saying? But speaking of things being taxed, and this is one of the biggest stories of the past week, it's folks in church being taxed, right? You know what I'm saying? We had a situation occur that we have been talking about for the past week or so that we definitely got to talk about tonight, man. Close those doors. Close the doors. So if y'all don't know who this man is, who Marvin Sapp is, you never heard the music before, I'm about to show you the video. So take a little minute out of your day to review this video, because this is what happened and this is what we're about to talk about. So check it out.
And they understand the cost that is involved. There's 1,000 of you. I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. It's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. Now, everyone up here, we've all sold and seeded, but I need everyone standing up here with us, with me, to plant a seed of $100. Because again, it costs to sit up here. And this is what I need you to do. If you're giving electronically, or even if you're giving tangibly, I'm gonna have y'all come to the altar and give it, because I need to see 1,000 people moving. Bring them baskets. I want the baskets up here. I want to see the folk. Y'all start moving. Y'all can bring it right now. Come. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people online need to give $20. This is easy, saints.
Man, listen, this sounds like an auctioneer. He sounds
said,
like he is auctioning off salvation.
He said, come on, start moving. And the snap of the fake, come on, start moving. Excuse me?
But see, I think that to me, at the very, very crux of everything that occurred, if you don't understand the way churches function and people were saying, well, that's how they church do or whatever, for me, at the very basis of it all, it was the way that he delivered the instructions and the message to me that was a problem, right?
Yeah,
I don't know what your church does, how your church functions, and what y'all do when it's offering time or whatever the case may be. I don't care what preacher you are, what reverend you are, what pastor you are. If you are talking to people like that and wanting them to give money and wanting them to contribute, to me, that is not the way to do it.
Well, in this case, it's interesting because that clip is like 2 years old, and that's at the PAW conference. And so if you were at that conference, then you understand, the people who were there understand the dynamics of what it was. And for it to go out into social media world two years later is kind of hilarious. But then on the outside, you wouldn't understand it because you haven't been in that setting. Like most people's churches nowadays, well, I wouldn't say most, a lot of churches have gone away from that style of raising an offering. For example, at my church, we don't even raise an offering like that. Just put up the QR code. You can give any day during the week, yada, yada, yada. You don't even have to, you don't even have to deal. We don't even raise offerings like that anymore. But at a conference where it's predominantly your people, it's like, you put together an event and all your people, all your pastors that you've known, who know Marvin Sapp, who are familiar with his ministry, familiar with his praise team, his singing, his traveling, all of these people kind of know you to a degree. And you go to those meetings and you're getting the best of the preaching for the whole week, best of the musicians. So it's a totally different feel. And I agree, because me and my wife, we had this conversation. It sounded a little bit, like, dang, bossy, all of those types of things. But that's kind of familiar to us a bit. And it's like, we ain't really tripping off of it because we know what we're there for anyway. We know, if you're going to go see Chris Brown, or Denzel Washington, wherever you're going, you're going to pay your money anyway. So you ain't tripping. When you're a part of that ministry like that, the PAW, Pentecostal Assemblies of the World, Marvin Sapp is going to be there, Bishop Noel Jones, your famous preachers, whoever, are going to be there. And they're the best of the best preachers, so to speak. You get what I'm saying? You know for a fact when you go, you booking your hotel, you staying there for the whole week.
I hear all that, bro, but that still does not excuse the fact that the way he is addressing grown people who he is asking for money.
Get up.
Right.
Who are you snapping at?
It could seem pretty. I get it. On the onset, it does seem, like it's, it's stern. And it's funny because he mentions that in his recap video. He's like, I could have said it a little bit different. You get what I'm saying? I was a bit stern. He was like, I seen the video. He's a bit stern in his approach. But in actuality, like I said, you're used to your bishops getting up talking like that because you put this conference on.
It's
And
giving aggressive. It's giving, where's the money really going? It's giving,
Facts.
I'm concerned now because why are you talking to me like this? And why are you snapping at me like I got to? This,
well, because at this particular point, if they need to go to those drastic measures to raise an offering like that, you're not just going to have anybody up raising that offering because people ain't going to give. People will give when their favorite person is present.
But
God
still,
said, come as
it's
you are. And if I came broke that day,
but my
But
thing is, I don't care who
then in that space it doesn't apply to you
I
because
don't
you
care
can't
who
give
the favorite person is though, bro. Like the delivery of
mhm,
those instructions
hmm
in that manner, and you're asking somebody for something, that's not how you ask.
that's
I
not.
don't care
I,
who's up there.
I would agree, and again, I agree. A bit stern, but this is what I said to a bunch of group of people who hit me up concerning this. I said, if you were in a position, church or whatever, house, whatever, wherever you're at, if you're in a position to where it has to be raised, I don't think we're going to worry too much because we've had a month and the rent is due on the first, the mortgage is due on the first. We've given we've talked about this ad nauseum, and no church ever is leaving without raising an offering. So we've had
What
this
does that? So
conversation
what does that mean? We're not leaving without. So if they didn't make 40,000 that night, no one was leaving, or that in that
No,
moment.
if you, for example, cost, it's no different than you having a bill or you having to pay your rent or your mortgage. If you don't pay it, if it's the first and it's like saints, we got this going on, but it's the first now.
Okay,
So
let me ask you a question though. Let
go
me
ahead.
ask you a question. Would you rather have somebody give you some money because they want to give it out of goodness of their heart, or would you rather hear? Would you have somebody saying, "Him, just take this"? Because what's going to happen is you have him take this. I'm not coming back.
Well,
Or, or you have people who give what they can
Mm-hmm.
and they are excited, they're happy to contribute, and then they're going to continue to do that. And they're
mhm,
going to be a cheerful giver. They're going
right.
to be willing to give. They're going to be willing to serve whatever capacity they can because they feel like I'm valued here, right?
Well,
And if you are in a position like a preacher,
mhm,
pastor, head of a church, your job, part of your job is to get new people in and
right,
show people the love of Christ. That does not exhibit what you're supposed to be putting out there. Now, whether
Yeah.
that clip was supposed to get out to the public or whatever, this is this day and time. This is anything 2020 and forward. You already know whatever you do, it
people go
has a possibility of
right,
making it to social media. So
Now,
right. So
it,
that brings up this point for me. If you were already a cheerful giver, we wouldn't be in this spot.
nope, I
So
don't,
now,
I don't,
see,
I
this
don't
is the
agree with
stuff
that.
like this right
I
here
don't agree with
that
that.
will make a person
why
study
do
the
you
Bible
have
at
to
no.
go?
This will
Why
make
do
you
you
do your
have to
church on your
go up
own.
there and
Like
do that?
But
you
what I'm
won't.
saying
Why
is
at this moment do you have to go up there and do that? Because remember, this isn't his church,
exactly.
right?
So then
He
he needs to stop locking the doors and asking for 40K. 40K.
he didn't say lock the
He said
door.
I
close them.
mean,
He said
not
close
let
them.
me let me
Yeah.
get like, my bad. You are absolutely right. Close the doors, and he said, just close them. Okay, like,
Well,
but this is my thing. This the stuff like that. I don't play like that. That'll make me not go. I don't need to go for that. I don't need to deal with that.
right,
That's unnecessary when it should just be about the message and about. I understand the giving and stuff like that,
right.
but that that aggressive behavior like reminds me of Bible beaters and other people that just doing too much. Like you're doing too much, and that to me ain't what worshiping and learning and being with God is about. So that
Well,
will deter people that are already on edge from the church to begin with. When you got newcomers and stuff, what is that to them? That's
I
looking real iffy.
I get that part. I get it, and trust me, those are things are discussed in the backroom meetings. Trust me, they are discussed. Everything isn't for everybody, right? I get it, I understand it. But at the end of the day, if it's the first, and in some states, if you don't pay, your church is closed. It's never open again. If you don't pay that money on the first, you close down and you can't open back up in the name of such and such anymore.
I understand
So,
that, but how long did you know you needed 40K?
well, again, that's what I mean by
Like, I'm just
that's what I mean by the idea, because I know for a fact, I sit in the back room with pastors all the time. I see pastors who work double jobs and they're paying the church rent before they pay their own. Like
why
I've been
wasn't we doing the church car wash and the
But see,
church
but see,
baking
hold
and the
well,
on.
church
a lot
But
of
let me
people
mention
a lot
this.
of people don't want to do that anymore neither. The
But
church
let me mention this.
just
See,
touch
this
that.
is the problem that I have with church in general, with like church as a whole.
Right,
All right. Now, especially in the black community, I
right.
can't speak to any other religion or any other community, but in the black community, churches have gotten to the point where they're competitive, bro, and it shouldn't
Oh
be
yeah,
that way
that's right.
because you'll have somebody have a church here and they'll have some dynamic preachers, say 4 dynamic preachers that all are at this one church, but
Mm-hmm.
this preacher wants his own church, so he'll break off and go start a whole nother church,
True,
take
true.
part of the church with him to this other location, and now you're spreading them thin, right?
Fact.
The number of people that you had over here that was good and everybody was happy and everybody was excited, now you take and you divide that congregation because this
True.
preacher wants his own flock, and it happens way too much. And I've seen too many times where preachers leave churches and go to start their own church, and they're not really ready to do that. They're not
I
really
agree.
set up to do that. They're not in a financial place to do that. But everybody wants their own because it's competitive, bro.
I
And at the end of the day, I think that's one of the biggest problems with the black, church community as a whole is it's competitive rather than people coming together to for a common cause. And in that sense, you end up with situations like this where he feels the need to have to get up and demand money and be stern and talk to people in a way that, what I'm saying, is not seen as, what I'm saying, very receptive,
you right, right. But
because he
the
feels
thing,
like he has to get this done. And like I said, I still believe that there's a more constructive way to get it done, and still not seem like you are talking down to people.
no, I agree. And like I said, I agree with him saying he was a bit stern. I get it. He has a recap video on it. So I
Yeah, I
get it.
seen that too.
And I get it. I get it. I understand it. And so the difference is that in this case, again, he's not raising it for himself. He's raising it for the PAW, the Pentecostal Assemblies of the World, which again, you bringing up the point, people branching off, yada, yada, yada. But in this case, he actually left his church. He doesn't pastor his church anymore. He paid the mortgage off. He left the church with over 6 figures in their budget so that he can actually travel, sing, preach, and do those things. So for him in this space, totally different cause because he's not in that situation. He's a famous gospel preacher that if he shows up, he can help a struggling congregation, struggling jurisdiction, raise money because again, the average pastor has about 75 members. The average pastor doesn't have money flowing in like that. So you put these conferences on to actually assist and help. And like you said, you're bringing in, somebody with a little bit more clout than you. This is funny. I used to say this all the time because in my local congregation, when I was preaching, I could get 100, 200 to show up. But all that 100, 200 wasn't given. So I get pulled in the back. Like we just had a great service. You preached heaven down, but son, we only raised $500. And the sad reality of it is that if you bring Benji to your church, you're gonna raise about $500. But if I tell you Marvin Sapp is coming, or Bishop Noel Jones is coming, or Bishop McClendon is coming, the offering gonna be 100, 200,000. You get what I'm saying? So it's a numbers game. Yes, there's politics involved, and it can get tricky. But truth be told, you ain't coming to spend your money to come here Benji preach, and you ain't finna drop 5,000 for me to come hear me preach.
Well,
It, it, it's sad.
he said it costs to sit up there
It
in
does.
those seats, and but here's
Yeah,
the
they was
thing.
required to give 100.
Here's the
And
thing. Here's the
and to be
thing.
honest, $100 or $20. Man, I've said I need you to. We need $1,000 from you. Every minister on the staff need 1,000. So that was easy work to hear that from me. But the sobering reality of it is that as popular as you can be, people want to come hear a specific person. And the sad reality of it is that the average pastor only has about 75 members in his church. And trust me, they ain't raising money like folks think they are. So in a lot
And
of
that
cases,
goes back to what I just said. They shouldn't have a church. They should be getting with somebody else and building a church that's viable in a community setting.
right,
And that way they won't have to worry about trying to utilize only 75 members and trying to pay, $5,000, $6,000 a month, what I'm saying, church note, and this big old church, and it's only a handful of people. That
right.
don't make sense. So at
Yeah,
the end of the day,
that's
it
tricky.
it
That's tricky for
it's
sure. Yeah,
it's too much competitive, things. It's too much competition going on in the church,
right.
and I think that needs to be something that people really sit back and reevaluate within themselves, the leaders of these churches and things like that. Nobody cares who you are or what your church is and the big name if your door is closed. So, so
Hey, and that is the sobering reality that a lot of pastors have to deal with. Is that
so
if you don't raise it, your church doors are going to be closed.
yeah.
And if you believe that this is what God called you to do, you're gonna do whatever you can. So and I'm gonna shut up about this. This is a conversation I had with actually with my wife. I said, if let's just say we were in a position and we were in that position and it's the first of the month and we need to raise for our own our home, our own mortgage, not nobody else's, our own stuff. I said, what type of thing would you do? I need $5,000. We need it tomorrow. What would you do in this instance to get $5,000? Where would you get it from? How would you go about doing it? What would you do? In this case, it's 40,000. They need to raise it. I said, in our own personal lives, we would come up with a strategy to raise the money by any means necessary. I don't care if we got to stand out in the cut and sell chicken and waffles. We're gonna
Oh,
do
I
it.
thought you was finna say something else. I was gonna say
No,
stand on the car.
Man, look, I was like,
Say Benji down on Figueroa.
oh
no,
Lord. The fact that you said Figaro, I can't stand you. First of all, how you know? How you know?
Oh man, I've been in Cali a lot, and
Ooh,
I ain't no
out there
new
on
person to it.
Fig.
But what's funny? What's funny? Step away from the conversation about the church talk for a second.
yeah,
There was
yeah.
a bunch of videos about Figueroa floating around where the guy, he had a drone and he was following the chicks everywhere. So that's how I know about Figueroa.
Oh my God. I bet you this video is crazy.
Oh, I will make sure after the show.
Oh,
Like I'll
send me
I'll
the.
send you the link. Yeah,
Oh my
he's got
God.
a whole IG channel. Yeah,
Oh
but either
my
way,
God.
Good rats
I
and all. But
I
yeah, no,
I get
I totally understand it. So yeah, it
yeah,
came off a bit harsh, and
yeah.
Yeah.
it was
I just think that there's a way to go about getting what you need. And understandably, I understand the behind the scenes, the need, the desire, the overhead, the
Yeah.
pay. Like I get all that, but he just was aggressive,
He
and that is not how you would get anything from me per se. And yeah, I don't care who you are. So
there's more creative ways and
yeah.
innovative ways to make it happen. And for somebody at that level, you would think that he would be a little bit more creative and he would be a little bit more innovative and, be able to do some things other than to approach people in that manner, in my estimation. But hey,
It's
it is
it's
what
hard,
it is.
it's hard getting money out of folks
did he
sometimes.
ever make his 40K or
Well, the church is in good standing. So now they raised the money. He got the money for him, and the conference still went on. It still took place. They're still hosting.
How long were they in there trying to achieve that 40K?
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there was about 4,000 in that place, and there was, I believe, 1,000 people or so online. But they actually raised the money because of him. So that, I mean, at the end of the day,
That's wild.
it's tough. They raised the money for him, and he, again, that's not his church. He's just over that jurisdiction in terms of where he preaches at in the Pentecostal assemblies of the world. And I mean, they got it done.
Hey,
But
it is what
at
it
what
is.
point does that
You shouldn't have
become
to go
not
that drastic
of
to
the
do it.
Bible? Like at this point, you're just giving tithes because of the person, like LeBron's at church or something. Like, what does that have to do with the Bible? Like, oh, because he was there, we want to give today. That ain't giving for God. That's giving because you see him. That's a little like.
It is. It's sad, but most people don't view giving as a form of your worship. It's not considered. It's not sacred to them. So giving for me is sacred to me. Like, I give because it's a form of my worship. Like, it's part of who I am. So regardless if you ask me for 100 or 500 or 1,000 or whatever, if I can give it, I'm going to give it. No Q&A. You ain't gotta, that's just how I float with when it comes to giving. I'm not tripping off of it because I know for a fact I've been blessed by being a giver. But everybody doesn't have that mentality for two reasons. One, they haven't been taught that giving is actually worship. And then, second of all, it's not considered part of something that you grew up really having to do. So,
Man, some of these people just don't have the money.
yeah,
They just ain't got the bread to do it.
That's why I'm just like.
But
And they
most
gave
people,
what they could give, and then you're
What if
made
that
to
was gas
feel.
money?
That's what I'm saying. You made to feel less than because now you're asking me for additional, and now you're saying basically if I don't give this, then I'm being looked down upon. You're saying come up to the front, bring the baskets up to the front. I want to see people, and when the people
And
get
that's
up to
not
walk
even
up
in the
there,
Bible.
it's making the people who can't give feel less than because they're like, dang, people looking around to see. Oh, I'm gonna see
Absolutely.
it.
See who
I'm gonna
didn't
see
get
it.
up so they could
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about
exactly,
Sister Wesley that didn't
exactly,
come up here, and but we see her in her new Tesla, and like
exactly.
come
yeah,
on, man.
it's challenging because, and part of it, and this is a great teaching moment ministry wise, because although this video has a lot of changing parts in it to debate, overall the idea, the purpose of the believer is to teach people how to. It's not the amount that you give, because remember, biblically, there's a woman who gave 2 mites and she was blessed tremendously. It's a matter of the heart, but it's part of your worship. So no matter what you give, if you're in this moment and there is a teaching moment to teach you, like, we give unto our God. We give to keep these doors open. We give so that a soul might come in and be delivered and be saved. This is why we give. And I thank God for the people that gave and sacrificed so that I could go through the doors of the church and be blessed and receive. So it's a teaching moment nonetheless. And for me, that's the great thing about it for me, is that you can actually teach, but you have to teach it correctly. And, at the end of the day, all of the error that was tied to it. If you're a solid preacher, if you're a solid teacher with the scripture, you can teach it properly and then win over a person and teach them honestly what giving is actually about. But
All right, so
that's
do what Benji's saying, but at the same time, use your head.
yeah.
Don't be giving at the church over amount that you can't. You trying to keep the lights on at the church, and then you get your own light shut off at home. Cause guess what? The church ain't gonna pay for your light bill.
Well, most of them do. If you're
I'm telling you, I done seen people have this
yeah,
exact situation.
yeah,
They gave their money at church, and the church would not pay them, would not give them money to keep their lights on. So
right.
there's a lot of different little nuances in there, but use your best mind, pray about it, and trust your head and your heart, and be led by God. At the end of the day, because everybody gonna have their own view or their own way they want to do things, but if you want to get up and leave and they didn't close the doors, get up and leave.
Man,
And if the usher don't let you out, fight them.
I was just gonna say, hit him with the little basket.
So, well, the whole close the door thing is for security purposes. Just a FYI.
Yeah, just so people won't heist out with the
If you
baskets.
got to raise $40,000 and anybody can walk through, like, and remember, ain't no security at these places, so you got to be careful. So that's another story, dude. That's another story.
All right.
Okay. All right.
All right. So we got a couple of questions we want to ask before we get ready to wrap it up. This will be a quick one because you can only give one. You can only give one answer to this question. It's gonna be quick, right? What celebrity do they say you look like? You can only give one answer to this. One. Benji.
For me.
Benji, go ahead. One celebrity that they say you look like.
Freaking Method Man.
I have to agree. We've said that countless times. Mini Meth.
I had a lady in my shop. I said, "Hey, we just got out of rehearsal last night. I'm talking. She's in there getting her hair braided, yada yada yada. Shout out to my braiders; they the dopest, right? So we in there, and then she got a client in there, and I was, we just chopping it up, asking the ladies how they doing, and the lady is staring at me, and I'm like, "Yo, like, do I got like a booger on my face or something? Like, I'm like, what's going on?" And I was talking to the braider, and she was like, I was telling her because I'm trying to get her to come sing in my church and so forth. And I'm like, man, we just got out of rehearsal last night. It was fire, yada, yada, yada. She's like, are you related to Method Man? And I was like, what?
She needed to know the truth. She's like,
he's a miniature version. Miniature version.
Yeah, Mini Man.
I've been getting that lately, and it ain't going nowhere. So, but
Mini Meth.
I was gonna say Mini Meth.
Yeah, Mini Meth. That's his name, Mini Meth. All right, Trish Michelle, what you got?
I get Meg Thee Stallion all the time, no matter where I go. That's where I get it all the time.
No comment from me. I ain't saying nothing.
I mean, okay, we're just gonna take it. I get you, Benji. I get you. I'm reading between the lines here.
Say nothing incriminating.
I'm reading between the lines
leave it there. But
okay, yeah. For the people out there, if you are trying to substantiate the claims of Meg Thee Stallion, you can go to her IG and you might get clued into a little bit of the reason why they say she, like Meg Thee Stallion a little bit.
Yes.
But I would say,
right. Well,
maybe like Teflon Don or whatever.
Okay.
But Teflon
I'm gonna have to go back and
who that?
I'm gonna have to go back and check out some of those pictures. I'm gonna have to go back and check out some of those pictures. For me, it's easy. For me, it's easy. It's very easy.
Oh yeah.
Everywhere I go, from the time that Straight Outta Compton came out, people literally would stop me in the stores and ask me, "Am I Suge or am I the guy that played Suge in Straight Outta Compton?" So I either get those, and I still get those to this very day. Everywhere I go, people are gonna stop me and ask me, "Are you the guy that played Suge in Straight Outta Compton?"
I can see it. Totally.
I mean, still. Yeah, I just laugh.
I got a picture of us when you came to Cali, like the first one, like several years ago.
Yeah.
And I posted it and everybody was like, I was like, the homie Suge pulled up on me. They was like, yeah, man, that ain't no Suge, right? But they was like, that might be his. Is that him for real? They couldn't tell the difference, so it was hilarious.
But you know what's crazy?
I say your name is Teflon Don. That's my bad. That's the name, Teflon.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. But yeah, man, it's funny to me that people will literally stare at me in the store, and the first thing they usually will say was, "Have anybody ever tell you look like Suge Knight?"
Your height don't help either. Like you just
I know,
right?
I know.
You give off Suge just
the
just
whole
up there
nine.
Like, the
whole nine. Yeah. Suge is 6'6". Well, Suge is actually 6'3", like 320. I'm 6'5", 300. Yeah. It's close enough. And when people see the stature and they see the beard, they see the bald head, they just like it's just too many similarities here. Like y'all related or something because y'all look too much alike. So it's pretty funny, man. But I
Right.
ain't gonna lie, I've taken advantage of it countless times. So shout out to the folks.
Hey, I mean, we go to Vegas. You already know who we about to say we with.
I did. I'll tell you the story real quick. I went to Vegas right after the movie Straight Outta Compton came out, and I definitely parlayed my looks into some free stuff. At that time, One Oak was still open, and One Oak is one of the big popping clubs in Vegas. And we ran into the guy at Caesar's Palace, and we were actually at the cigar shop where Suge actually buys his cigars when he's in town. And if you're not familiar with Suge, the real Suge, he is from Las Vegas. So when I walked into the cigar place, the guy, his eyes bucked, and he said, "Dude, come look at this picture. This is me and Suge. You look just like him. That is crazy. Y'all are the same size." He said, "I tell you what, buy a cigar and wear those shades, and I guarantee you it'll pay off." He was not lying, because when we left there 5 minutes later, we run into the promoter from One Oak, and he says, "You know what? You look just like the guy from the movie. How about you come to One Oak? And we're gonna comp everything. Y'all just come. We'll give you a section. We'll give you bottles.
Like, we got Suge Knight in
well, not that. We got the guy that played Suge Knight straight out of Compton.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So yeah, we parlayed that, took some pictures. So shout out to the people who asked for pictures. You know what I'm saying? Probably looking at the pictures and can't tell the difference any, because if you see the guy from Straight Outta Compton, we look eerily similar. I had to ask my dad a little bit of questions, because I'm like, wait. How do we look this much alike? This is crazy.
Giving a little,
Yeah. So, but it's funny when you have people who say they look like celebrities, but there are some people who say they look like celebrities that don't look like them at all.
Right.
Shout out to my homegirl who says she look like Beyonce.
You have a homegirl that says that?
We gonna move on. Yeah, no, yeah. She said that, and it was kind of disappointing. I was like, of all people, that's who you pick? Nah.
No.
Stop it. I didn't say nothing to her. I just said in my mind, I was like, stop it. No, don't do it. Don't do it.
That's
all right. Well, we got one more question, and it might take us a little bit to break this down, but hopefully not. And I've been wanting to ask this question, but I needed to have Trisha Michelle present to ask this question. Now, we don't have to go real deep.
We don't have to go
real deep on it.
I'm so worried.
We don't have to go real deep on it, but it's a serious question, right? Because some stuff that we have seen on social media, some stuff that we have seen in the world. So I wanted to ask this question. So audience, please chime in. This is going to be the last question of the night before we wrap up. So please chime in. Is masculinity dead in America? Because, and the reason why we started talking about this is simply because everything that you do as a man seems to be too manly. And, we're not even going to talk about the toxic masculinity, topic that people were this made up thing that people talk about. But it's like everything that you do or that we were taught to do as a man is being ostracized, is being questioned. And it's like, dude, like, how are you supposed to be a man when the stuff that you were taught that makes you a man by action, by deeds, by services, and things that we were taught and ingrained in us to be a man is being questioned?
Right.
It's crazy, right? Like simple things like opening the door for a woman. You will have a woman tell you that's giving gay because you holding doors. I've heard some of the most outlandish stuff.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie, I have. Yeah.
So I'm like, is masculinity dead? Because, and I say this too, I saw the picture of, I know you've seen it. Everybody's been on social media for a while. It's been floating around for years. It's a picture of a guy whose daughter had wanted to take a picture with a tutu, and he took a picture. He put a tutu on and took the picture with her. And people were going back and forth in the comments on these pictures and many posts that I've seen of this same picture. And people were actually going in on guys who said, no, I would never wear a tutu. So they were like, well, you wouldn't do that for your daughter. You wouldn't do that. I'm like, wait a minute. Since when is it okay for a guy to wear a tutu? I don't care what's going on. My daughter knows I love her dearly with everything in me. There are certain things innately in me as a man that I'm just not gonna
Not
do.
gonna facts.
Yeah. I mean, I think the problem is, like, if that man wants to do that and that's what he wants to do, that's on him. But at the end of the day, I think there's too many people trying to tell somebody like what they're not comfortable with is wrong. Who the heck told you that you are the person that can state what's right or wrong? If this is what this man does not want to do, and that's not for him and not within his comfortability, that does not make him less of a man because he doesn't want to put on a tutu. Like, he don't want to, he don't have to. Now, the one thing I did see on this podcast, I can't credit it because I can't think of it. It's a clip I seen. There, the guy said the problem with men right now, or the problem with this whole masculinity thing, is we got women telling men that they aren't man enough or masculine enough from women that ain't even been raised by their own daddies or have their own daddies in their lives to even know what it's like to have a man around to actually be masculine or to be that. And here you are telling a man how to be a man. Shut your mouth. You don't
Facts.
even know what is masculine. And
Facts.
your masculine self half the time. Why don't you sit down so that the man can do that? So when I seen that clip, I was like, ooh, facts.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, that's very true. Because all of y'all out here don't even know, focus on just being a woman. Because that's what y'all need to focus on. You too much up in men's business on how to be a man and dictating to the man how to be a man. You ain't even focused on how you need to be a woman and how you're supposed to handle the household and how you're supposed to be doing things. So you focus on this so-called soft era that you don't even know what it is. You focus on that. That's what the problem is. So is it gone and dead? It's not dead. It's just the wrong people running their mouths about something mess that ain't got nothing to do with. And so men are scared to do too much of this or that because there's always somebody popping their gums.
Facts. And
That's
and a lot of well said, Patricia. Well said. And to kind of piggyback off of it, being a solid man is frowned upon now because again, people are putting too much of the emotion into being a man. Realizing you got to understand, men for the most part, we have to take a lot of emotion out of stuff that we deal with because we can't react a certain way. So it's like, why would I want to react like a woman should react? And why would a woman want a man to react like a woman would react? So, yes, there's going to be some masculinity that comes with me because I'm a man. My voice is a little deeper than yours. My strength is a little stronger than yours. The
sometimes.
I mean, in some cases, yeah, you got some buff chicks out here for real. But but for the most part, pound for pound, you get what I'm saying? Like it's different. And I don't know where people got this notion that men should react like a woman should react. But that's how they want you to. They don't want you to be firm in your decisions. There's always something you have to bend to a woman's rules all the time, and that's just not how men float. That's not how we go. We're going to have our stern opinions, and a man who stands on his opinions and stands on what he believes is right is going to always seem like an outsider. But again, that's just how you have to roll with it if you're a legit solid man. No, I ain't doing that. We ain't putting on no tutus. And I don't even want my daughter to see me putting on no tutu because I don't want her to get this mixed idea of who and what a man and a woman is. And don't give me this mess about if you secure in your masculinity. No, Negro, I'm secure. And part of my security is I'm not putting on no tutu. I ain't doing it. And that's just
I
how it is.
think
But it's tough spot.
I think the problem is, like, when you're getting into saying like the woman and emotions and wanting a man to be like, I don't mind a man understanding emotions, but
Right.
I don't want you to be emotional.
Right.
Like, first of all, I understand and that women are emotional creatures, and I had to tap into learning how to not lead with my emotions and how to learn how to be logical to solve situations. And you know who taught me that? A man.
Right.
Like, so that you need him to be how he is, so that he can teach you how to get through certain situations that require you to not be emotional. You need him to be who he is and what he is, so that they can help you in the areas where you're not made up to be. You're emotional. You need us to be emotional, to tap into your softer side where you're not, that don't compute for you when we're raising these kids and when we're
Right.
doing things in this household or whatever we're doing. It's the balance of the two differences that come together to create one unity of something that can smoothly float. This is not going to happen if all the men are emotional and all the women is running around little mini thugs. We need to be two different things so that we can all come together.
Yeah, but I think I'll say this, and we can wrap it up. I think it's a combination of like what Trisha Michelle just said, and it's guys. I believe guys should be emotional at some points because we have to display emotions. That's what emotional is, right? But she said something very key is leading with your emotions. That's what you cannot do, right? You cannot lead with your emotions. You have to think logically. You have to go through these thought processes, especially as a man, especially if you're the leader of your household, and especially if you're taking care of things. There's just a different approach you got to have to it. And there's a different expectation for you as a man in society. And I think, we've had many conversations about gender roles and societal norms and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, it's really going to boil down to you and how you want to run your household and how you want to run your life.
Right.
But as they say, for me and mine, we're gonna be, what I'm saying, kind of traditional in our approach to things, because I'm gonna be a dude the way I was taught to be a dude, the way I was raised to be a dude, and that's just what I'm gonna do.
I
Right.
will
So
love.
What'd you
whatever
say?
you want to do is up to you.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I don't
will love a woman.
yeah, I don't want none of that over here. So you can
All
open the
right.
door, you can smoke hookah, you can do whatever it is that you do. It's not gay.
You can smoke
Like
hookah?
Listen,
like
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. I ain't smoking no hookah. I ain't doing it.
and that's your personal preference, but you're not gay to me just because you do it. Like
Yeah,
I'm just like, I don't know. There's
it
Say
just don't
say
seem
say 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 smoking hookah is not gay, but if you do it a certain way, you can't appear to
now
be
that's
that way.
different. If half the hose is down your
fact.
throat, we have a problem.
Fact.
Like
We ain't even we
if your
good.
tongue is coming out to the
Negroes blowing
now, I
smoke
might
like
now if I'm looking like
listen, man. It's just some things just don't fit.
that's
Uh,
different, but
all right.
If the
yeah,
glove don't fit, you must have quit.
You must quit. You must not quit. Just quit. It's
you
just
must
quit. Period. How about
just
that?
stop.
Quit. Quit.
Yeah. All right. Y'all, we've had a great time on this episode. We talked about a lot of great stuff, talked about a lot of great topics. We hope you enjoyed. We hope you were able to gain some new perspective, think about some new things and carry these conversations on in your personal lives with your friends and your family and things like that to continue to move forward these conversations and these topics. So before we get up out of here, Trish Michelle, talk to the people, let them know where to find you at, and leave them with a final thought.
You guys, I finally remembered my screen name for sure. Trisha Michelle _TM all over all social media platforms. That's really what it is. Um, yeah, TikTok, all that good stuff. But some good words. Let's see. Just be you and stop listening. You know what? Stop letting social media tell you what is right, what ain't right, what you should be doing, how you should be doing, and then stop letting these pastors tell you that you can't leave and you got to give all this money right now too. You stop all that. You live your life according to the way that you and God have your relationship, and you live in that and you believe in that and you find great faith in that, your relationship with God, first of all, because
Let
you
me get
have it
that
and you
20
pray
up.
on that.
Let me get that
Look,
20 watch.
listen here. I'm gonna give it to God. I'm giving it to God right here, and we're gonna keep it pushing. And as far as everything else, like just be you, be living you. Stop letting these stupid women tell you what it is to be a man, and stop letting these stupid men tell you what it is to be a woman. You worry about yourself, and we're gonna worry about ourselves, and that's what it should be. And yeah, fire session every Tuesday. So follow us. You following me, you following us. Them, us,
Facts.
we, yeah.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
All right. Benji Banks, the man, the brand. Talk to the people.
Let me get that 20 up out y'all real quick. I'm talking about you gonna be all right. You gonna
Pass the collection plate.
let me
Lord.
you can let me hold that. Let me hold 100. You'll be all
He
right.
done locked everybody in the house.
No. Matter of fact, don't pass it. Just come on up to the front. You're gonna have to
Come
come
on
up
up
here
to
and
the
see
front.
me to
He
put
done
it in
locked
there.
everybody. He done locked everybody in the house. Don't none of y'all leave this house.
You ain't leaving this house till I can get this money.
Run your pockets.
Hey, yo, man, listen, man. Y'all can find me every day at my beauty supply shop. You can find me on social media, Benji Banks. You can find me on Instagram, BRB, if you 4701. If you want to see me on Sunday morning, the praise team, the worship team, the choir, we are rocking and we killing it. So come by, check us out. Yes, you can follow me and I'll give you the information. You can find me on there. Find me anywhere where I'm posting content, putting stuff out there. Explaining things, going over things, whatever you need. I'm a shotgun shells gonna shoot, and we're gonna hit every direction that we possibly can. So follow your boy, follow the fire session. Y'all keep getting these invites because I keep sending them to you. Keep pulling up on the invites and invite your friends to come watch with us. And in closing, saw a dope story about LeVar Ball, who just recently had his foot amputated. And he talks about in there how they had to give him blood transfusion, how they had to go back about 4 or 5 times. And when he got out, of course, he recovered. And it's all because of his diabetes and stuff like that. When he came out and they interviewed him, he said one of the things, he thought he was out of here, but he said one of the things that fueled him was his boys. Seeing his boys play ball, seeing his boys, all the work he put into them from a youth up until now, to see them successful is what drives him. And I can respect that. To see all 3 of your boys who you put all your time, talent, effort, fussing, arguing, all of that stuff into, and to see them successful, and for him to come out of this amputation situation and still be encouraged to see his boys, to me was super dope. So continue to support, good fathers, good people out there. So
That's what's up. That's what's up. Y'all, I don't got too much to say. They done said it all. We didn't say it a lot this episode. But I will tell you one thing, man. I echo Trish Michelle's sentiments, man. Do what you want to do in life. If you want to draw your hairline, draw your hairline. If you want to put a perm on your beard, put a perm on your beard, man. If you want to rock a boosie fade, ladies, rock a boosie fade. Don't let nobody tell you can't rock a boosie fade. And put some lines on the side like Michael Irvin if you want to. Do what you want to do. It's your life. It's your dome. Do what you want to do with it. All right. Y'all can catch me at Big Ken on Fire on all social media platforms. Y'all can go to social media on Facebook, and it's Big Ken on there. You can search my government name, Kenneth Boston. I got a lot of followers. I tell a lot of jokes. I'm not going to accept your friend request, more than likely, but you can follow me there as well. Got a lot of good stuff that I post on a daily basis. Y'all can definitely follow the Fire Session on all social media platforms. Go to YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button on the page, and make sure you hit that bell notification so you won't miss an episode or short or any content that we provide to you. Y'all keep supporting us, keep showing love. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Y'all already know it's the Fire Session. Peace.
holla.
Thank you for joining us today. Please follow us on all social media platforms. Just search Fire Session.